Welcome to Better Together, the place where we stop blaming bad luck, dating apps, and the other gender, and start talking about what actually creates extraordinary relationships. Because who you choose, what you tolerate, and what you heal will shape almost every area of your life. Hi, I'm Eva Klein, relationship coach since 2010 and creator of the 2468 Love Formula. And this is Better Together. Every week we will decode attraction, attachment, nervous system dynamics, and the hidden secrets of successful dating and relationships. Enjoy today's episode. Hello and a very warm welcome to Better Together. I couldn't be more delighted to finally talk to you about a topic that's so close to my heart since forever, which brought me to therapy myself when I was 27. And I'm so happy to share all the things I learned myself personally, and of course, what I witnessed in my private practice since 2010. And I'm happy to hear and receive your comments on everything that's going on in your love life, and whether you're dating, whether you're in a long-term relationship, married, or on the edge of divorce, or whatever's going on. I can't wait to receive your questions, your insights, your comments. Looking forward to your follow. And now, today, let's start. Because here's something no one warns you about. The person you fall in love with will shape your health, your confidence, your energy, and the quality of your decisions, even how long you live. So it's one of the biggest choices you'll ever make. So this is why I created Better Together, because I want you to have that person who is, your longevity guarantee, who is your biggest supporter and cheerleader, and who makes you feel incredible. And what does it take for all of that? So most people make it by accident. And I'm Eva Klein, and this is Better Together, your podcast about dating smarter, loving deeper, and building the relationships that actually work. And I've been coaching people through love for over 16 years now, and singles tired of the same cycle, couples on the brink, people rebuilding after divorce, and finally getting it right. And in all those years, I've noticed one thing. We spend an enormous energy talking about success, career, money, health, but the one factor sitting underneath all of them, we treat like a side project. And that's love. And it's not a mistake, because who you share your life with affects almost everything. Your nervous system, your confidence, your health, your ability to take risks. We can see that in politics. Who's speaking up? The safer you feel, the more you dare. And you feel safer when you have at least one person that's, having your back no matter what. So your everyday decisions are stronger and made by the person you are together with. And you know the saying that, show me your 5 people you hang around with the most, and I tell you who you are and who you will become, because the energy from those people is actually predicting your future. And that's why this podcast exists, and it's why it's called Better Together, because despite everything modern culture tells us, I believe life is better when it's shared with the right person. I'm a pro-relationship and contra the division type, a girl, and some systems try to force on us those kind of thinking in divisional terms, but no animal in the world would see the other gender like that, because of a narrative that had been fed from, for example, so-called feminists, media, who, like, Simone de Beauvoir and many others, had tremendous father wounds, and as they remained unhealed, interesting encounters with men following. And we will declutter all of those things. I firmly believe you don't necessarily need another human to be happy and healthy, or that they should save you or complete you. But oh boy, it's so much better to be together, because healthy love amplifies a life. a good relationship doesn't replace your happiness. No, the best it can do is it multiplies it. And yet finding that relationship feels harder than ever. People are swiping more, dating more, analyzing more, healing more, and still ending up in the same painful place. And why is that? Because we're solving the wrong problem. The whole conversation around love today points in one direction. Work on yourself, heal yourself, fix yourself, and yes, self-development matters. But something is missing because not every relationship is compatible. Not every person is suitable. And not every compromise is worth making. That's where I highly speak against a very famous book title, that it doesn't matter whom you marry, that self-love is all it takes to make a relationship work, and that you being at peace with yourself is all it takes to make love last and attract it in the first place. From my own personal experience and my professional work, I can tell you it's a freaking lie. Because discovering self-love can mean that you get a divorce or that the person in front of you is not a match, and you own that fact. One of the biggest mistakes I see is people forcing compatibility where it simply doesn't exist. And people lose so much time there. And when you lose so much time in the wrong relationship, you imprint a belief that you are that way, you are that kind of person, you are like this. And the longer you think that, the longer it takes to reprogram your mind later on again. Love isn't only a feeling. Love is also a decision, a selection, a strategy, and then the commitment to protect what you consciously chose. And that's where I, came up with my 2-4-6-8 love formula. And I just share that with my one-on-one clients so far, because before you can choose the right partner, you need clarity about yourself. When you gain that clarity in a relationship, it can mean that even though you come to peace with yourself and to the terms of your life, but you realize this person isn't a match anymore. So I see people thinking that, oh, this person, they have a great job, they're kind, they don't hurt me, they're everyone loves them. My parents, my friends, they think that he or she is so great. But there's some things missing. And no one can tell you, besides that personal love formula you create with me, what you really want and what really matters to you. What are your non-negotiables in the 4 essential key areas that need to be fulfilled in love? Most people have never answered those questions, and if so, they often mix up cosmopolitan or social media answers and imprints from childhood with what actually matters to them today as grown-ups. And when you don't know what matters most, you start negotiating against yourself. You talk yourself into things. You overlook red flags. You settle. And then you call it hope or potential. But here's the deeper layer. Most people aren't stuck because they don't know what they want. They're stuck because receiving what they want feels unfamiliar. So if you grew up with love that had to be earned, and if your nervous system learned to link love with uncertainty, then healthy love can feel suspicious, boring, or too easy even. Not because something's wrong with it, but because it isn't what you've known. And that's why real change isn't endless talking. It's not 20 years of analyzing every childhood memory and while you continue living the next 10 years and you're always in a back loop reflecting on what happened. It's changing the emotional and neurological patterns that keep repeating the same outcome. Because if your nervous system doesn't feel safe receiving love, you'll reject it. You'll sabotage it. Even in a long-term relationship, that can happen. And then after a certain time, you might think, this is too good to be true. And then you start to do something stupid like having an affair or something because you don't trust that kind of peace. Right? So that's how you choose someone who confirms what you already believe in that matter. And one more truth here. Your future partner is not your rescue mission. They're not here to heal every wound. They're not here to complete you, and they're not arriving perfect. The goal was never perfection in a relationship. I mean, we all have an incarnation, so it seems like we have some things to do, right? I know that sounds profane or like a bumper sticker, but over time at this podcast, you will learn to differentiate perfection from real standards, red flags from intuition, and fear-driven habits like jumping in a relationship too fast or run away from it because closure scares the heck out of you. So the goal is someone whose imperfections fit your formula, whose strengths matter to you, whose weaknesses you can live with, whose values line up with yours. And that's a completely different game then. So on this podcast, we'll talk about all of it. Dating and attraction, attachment styles, trauma bonds, nervous system healing, compatibility, masculine and feminine dynamics and energy, marriage, conflict and communication, and of course, self-sabotage. Every mistake people make, from the first swipe to the golden wedding anniversary, we will analyze it. And most of all, how do you stop repeating a pattern and start choosing better? Because love is not luck, it's a skill. And the better you understand yourself, the better your choices become and the greater your results will be. So to sum up today's episode, I want to say, yes, sometimes you need to work on yourself because the thing you want is outside your comfort zone and outside the zone you are used to inhabit. Another time, it's being aware of a standard you're having, but you're denying the moment a person enters your life. And the other one is, let's see where you have work to do together in case you're a couple. Or whether it's a divorce or a separation, that's absolutely the next step. There is no one size fits all. There is no, this is the rule, this is what you have to do, and then it works. Every relationship needs a strong foundation. We make sure that you have that, and in case it, gets some tiny damages on it, we check where they are, how and whether they are repairable, and be prepared for a lot of tips, for a lot of insights. You will get to know yourself better. I can't wait to see and hear you here next week. Have a wonderful weekend and let's make it better together. Thank you for being here. If you enjoyed today's episode, leave us a 5-star review and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Let's connect on Instagram at Better Together Forever. And until next time, date smarter and love deeper, because life is better together.